So it does the same. Says they have a happy hour.
Which works in this room. Speak up, but you should put the microphone outside.
I would say this. I don't know what
How many meetings in a week are you going to I'm doing better.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm able to Zoom today. I'm in Orange Park with my grandchildren and my daughter back from San Diego.
All right.
So it's a big day for us. I see Art. Hey, good morning, Art. There's Jody. Morning, John. Hi, Brian.
Good morning.
How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling great. Just
my prayers are coming answered. My prayers are getting answered for you, pal.
I
love you, brother. We missed you. Missed you at Lobster Fest. Missed all of you and your dad.
Yeah,
saw your dad the other day. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. He's actually out in California at the moment. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I can say
Yeah,
that
it's
I'm
just been
from
a long couple
California.
weeks.
I can say that. Where's he at?
Palm Springs, I think he went
Oh,
to.
he's playing golf. He's
No,
golfing.
he's actually going to meet with the people that and pick out the trees that he's bringing for the hotel up at Main Beach.
Oh man, way to go. Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
so it's just the type of trees that they really wanted to get for that were very difficult to locate, and the amount of money being spent on them, they want to make sure they're getting what they want. It may be a little excessive in my opinion, but that is what it is. So,
well,
but yeah, it's just been a long couple weeks being home, man. It's
hard, isn't it, buddy? Taking
yeah,
our
well,
humanity,
you know,
and it's
being
hard
in
for the
Port-
kids, I'm sure too.
it's tough. Yeah, it's not fun. But I'm going Saturday or tomorrow morning to get tested just to so hopefully I can have a negative test, and then we'll go from there. So
How many times did you get tested after you came positive? How many times, Brian?
oh, I didn't get positive. I was directly
It's
exposed
exposed.
to a positive case.
Yeah,
And
I got you.
when I say exposed, I sat next to the guy in court for a week, literally right next to him. So yeah.
Was that your bailiff?
It was my bailiff. Yeah. He was.
I bet he feels like a schmuck, huh?
Well, there were 4 of them that ended up testing positive. He didn't know it. He wasn't sick. He said he was
No, but I
asymptomatic.
mean, it's one of those things. It's due to no fault of anybody's, but
Yeah.
it's that thing. If you feel bad. That was something, man. That experience, sure, it had collateral implications in your life, huh?
Yeah.
Not only did you serve the greater, serve that person, but you serve the greater good, your humanity. Anyways, I'm glad to see you looking good.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate
man.
it. Yeah. I've been, doing home workouts and doing everything I can to kind of stay mentally not ready to lose my mind. I mean, it's funny. Monday and Tuesday this week, I was busier than most days I normally am during the week. And
Yeah.
and I missed a couple big meetings I had this week that we just weren't able to do because of this. But I'm still stuck here through next Friday. Like seriously, I'm supposed to. The health department even called me yesterday just checking. So
Want me to run you in some food or something good for yourself so your wife don't have to worry about that? Are you all right that way?
She's hanging in there, man. I'll keep you posted, Greg. If it comes
No, I can do anything, man. Hey, I'll get you a great bottle of bourbon if you'd like to do that. I found me a bottle of bourbon, man. Oh, by the way, that Buffalo Trace, which I like so much, which I think penny for penny is the smoothest thing I've ever gotten. I can get that at $25, $24.88 over at They got that at Walmart now. That Buffalo Trace. That's really good, Brian.
Running low,
really
anyways.
good.
Something.
Yeah. No, it's just, I'll get you something. I'll run you in something special. I'll make some, because I know it's nice just to. I'd go shit ass batty if I were in your position. I really would. Well, by the way, I'm over in Orange Park with my grandchildren. They're all back home right now. They just got in last night.
Wonderful. Have fun.
So, yeah, man, I bought about $300 of cleaning supplies, paper products, and about $150 worth of groceries. So they had a primer because they haven't been here for 5 months.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So, they're special, man. Oh my God, Brian. Oh my God. Oh my God, Brian. Thank God.
We're lucky. So it's funny how fundraisers for kids are done nowadays. Like they send home hey, go sell chocolates and all this kind of thing. But then they didn't advertise it very well that, hey, you can do this online. And I did that online. I sent an email to a few people, and all of a sudden, like
you got a whole bunch of stuff.
It's more than we could have ever done in person. It's just like, wow.
Saves the gasoline and it saves exposure to COVID too. That's a great thing, man. Well, your circle's huge. People like you, Jimmy Weaver, Larry Ogilvy. Holy shit. Excuse my language, but I mean, it never ceases to amaze me whenever like Jimmy comes into the YMCA. He's like a flock of seagulls come around him, He's so beloved,
everybody.
Yeah, and everyone knows him, It's like, it's great. I'm like the Lone Ranger when the Indians surround him and Tano, and he goes, "What are we gonna do, Kimasabi?" And he goes, when I feel like by myself without Tano around when when I go with you guys, I'm constantly reminded about how big your world is in a little place like Fernandina, Brian, which is really cool. It's really a cool place.
It's a good little place to call.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate that my dad chose when he retired from the Army to move here.
And my favorite neighbor is your buddy Brett. I love Brett and I love his family. He's got a full-on cool family and he's doing well and
good.
Yeah, man. So I like I said, it's probably the best. It's no problems. It's the best neighborhood I've ever lived in my adult life. Lori and I both agree to that. So
there's Caroline.
Yeah.
Morning,
She's
Caroline.
probably wanting me to shut up.
No, you're fine.
What time is it? Oh my, we're getting close to yeah.
Good morning, Greg. Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
I'm doing
well,
Bruce.
Bruce. Good morning.
I'm here just doing my quarantine thing that has been asked of me. So I've done more Rotary Zoom calls this week than I have done in a long time, I think. So
Did you get exposed, Brian?
Yes, sir, I did. I was serving jury duty a week ago, and it was actually Friday last week when we finished everything up, informed me that the bailiff tested positive during their routine testing. And he was asymptomatic, so he had no idea, but I was the only juror who sat, a foot away from him all week long. It was the only area where there wasn't any kind of real divider or protection from that standpoint. We were masked up and all that all week long, but just bad luck, quite frankly. So after we got done, the health department was there with the judge, and they asked me to stay home for 14 days. So I've been here. It's okay though. I missed the club charter.
Are they still paying? Are they still paying your jury duty pay?
That's a great question, Roy. I have to reach back out. I'm missing out on that $10 a day right now. So.
Yeah, we had our club. We had to cancel our club because one of the members came in and he'd come from South Dakota and he tested positive after the club meeting.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
But he wasn't on his bike, was it? His Harley or anything, was he?
If he'd been on his Harley, he probably would have been okay with all that air flow. And he was out hunting and stuff, but they got it pretty seriously up there.
Yeah,
so, hospitals are starting to get pretty filled up.
I think a lot of places are starting to do a 10-day quarantine instead of 14.
And I thought that was what the ongoing was until it was the Florida Department of Health that called me and pulled me aside and said, hey, we're asking for 14 days. And so I asked, what if I can go produce a negative test in, let's say, 4 days or 5 days? And they said, no, they're starting to see more and more cases that are showing up after that window that are testing positive, even though they may have already turned out a negative test within, 3 or 4 days after the exposure. So it's kind of odd. It's very, very different than it was even 5 months ago from what we're hearing. So.
Yeah, the first 10-day thing I heard was if you had COVID.
After the onset of symptoms.
At the onset of symptoms,
yes,
then
sir.
10 days, because you had that, and then Europe started talking less time simply to get better adherence to it.
Sure.
Because people started cheating on it,
it's tough.
After 7 days or so, yeah.
You see Europe, Italy specifically. My wife does a lot of business with Italian manufacturers, and they're already preparing for their shutdowns again. So not only were they shut down throughout the early or late spring, early summer, but now they're in discussions about industrial factories being closed down again and not being able to produce product. And so, it's interesting. They're getting very resistant to it from what I understand. They're trying to hold on and push back against it as much as they can and try to take different precautions. But I'd hate to see it happen for them just because it affects everything downstream. So
yeah, I wonder if the northern Italy folks that ran out of hospital room, if they're as negative. I don't know. I would think the whole hospital thing is scary because that's when their death rate started going up so much.
That's right.
So, there's no simple answer.
No, it's been a different time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hi, Pete.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Doing well. How's it going with your family?
Very well.
Good.
Everybody's doing okay so far. How about yours?
Doing good. I'm with the grandchildren all together for the first time in 5 months
Oh,
right now.
that's great.
They just got in from San Diego last night. So my life is good. She's been quarantined from me for the last nearly a month. So
Wow.
she looked sad when she came and saw me this last night. She looked and she go, oh, darn, here he is. I felt like COVID. I understand. How were those lobsters that you picked up the other day? Were they good?
Oh, they were fantastic.
Ours were good too. We enjoyed it.
Brian, I got so many aberrations to people who said, man, that incredible Barb Ginger went on and on about from the other club.
Mhm.
And they were, I mean, everyone was enthralled saying, you got to have this again.
It's fully already, and we're going to have a debrief. I think Dan's going to put out a note probably today. We're going to do a debrief, I think, next Tuesday afternoon or evening.
I'd love to be part of that, just to listen to it. I talked to Raj, and Raj, I was given faulty information from Raj. When I talked about that meeting we had, Raj, his first time they ever did it, they did 60,000. The last 2 years before COVID, over $100,000 they've raised. They've funded everything they wanted in Riverside with their Lobster Fest, outdoors. We can't do that right away, Brian.
Yeah,
But,
well, and it's obvious, we're not going to be able to do our wine event fundraiser. There's no way that's going to work given the way the climate's working. It's too much planning that requires something that's so unpredictable.
Not enough bang for the buck for time spent, the expenditure of it.
If you're interested in that meeting, Dan's going to send out a Zoom link, and if you don't get it, let me know. I'll send you one, but it'll be 6 p.m. on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday.
Okay, I'll write it down in my head there. Okay, I appreciate that, brother.
And it's open to anybody. So if anybody's interested in the lobster event project debrief to kind of go through the goods, the areas we could probably improve and all that, I think Dan will be sending out a Zoom link if he has not already. I haven't seen it, but if you don't get it, let me know, and we'll be certain to make sure you get a copy. And it's open for anybody who wants to be there. So,
cool.
Ryan, will you write my name down to be there?
I will, Jen. No problem. I'm sure I think he's going to announce it this morning too, but just, we'll get it going.
And I'm assuming that the folks that are on without their video on are not morning people.
They're driving. No, I'm kidding. They're
Bad
probably
hair day.
Meeting should be starting, huh?
Jen's just always on the go hustling, man. So we don't get to see her as much now. She's busy.
Hey, Andrew, I'm going to send you a chat. Are you looking at the chat?
Who is that?
Cesar.
It's Caesar. I'm trying to communicate with Andrew. I was going to send him a little chat thing.
Sorry, I was muted, Caesar. Yeah, I'm on chat.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. Please rise and recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Palmer. There you go. John. After the best part of a year in this COVID world, I have an even stronger aversion to the new buzzwords, social distancing. By all means, I think we should be practicing physical distancing, but coupled with social connecting. While it's critical that we keep a safe distance from those around us until this contagion passes, we should be deliberately tightening our social bonds because as thinking, caring humans, we crave quality personal interaction. Email and the social media, virtual meetings like this, and our cell phones are all in good working condition. Even the post office is still delivering the mail. That means you can make a call, write a message, send a drawing or a postcard, all of which can brighten someone's day. We know it starts with masks and physical distancing, but we'll only stay sane with strong social connecting. Just because you shouldn't get close enough to shake someone's hand doesn't mean you can't reach out and touch their heart. Maybe next to masks and distancing, that really is the best thing that we can do. Thank you, Mickey. Michael, let's do introduce guests and more.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. So we have some guests with us today. Sarah Amar is back again. Going to speak a little bit later. Deb Cottle, visiting from the Greater Nassau Club. Kate Newman, back here. Mark Bollay from the Fernandina Beach Club. And on Zoom, we've got Mike Dara. There are no birthdays this week, but once again, Teresa, you know, it's 9 months until birthday month. Okay, morning money. This quarter is for empty bowls. And if I can find, let's start over here with Jody.
Happy dollar because it's Friday and glad to see everyone, and had an amazing time Tuesday night when the Greater Nassau Rotary Club officially chartered and kicked off. It was amazing. So weird. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on stage.
As a head scholar, thank you, Art, for spotting me out. Pay back. I had to pay 10 at the door as a guest, so I ran out of money. Seriously, I wanted to come and thank all of you that came on Tuesday night, especially Art and Teresa, who really spearheaded the program part and made it run flawlessly and professionally. I appreciate that. Mickey was there, John Kublik, Jody, Carolyn Locklinger, Beverly, Larry Ogilvie, and Mark Kent. So I appreciate you all being there to support the new club, but you all have to know my heart still is in Sunrise.
I've got a happy dollar to celebrate the new Greater Nassau Club. Another dollar to celebrate moving into the new house almost successfully, and a third dollar because Rita is not here, and that's from her.
That's all it is, not here.
Oh, that's coming from Fernandina.
I have a happy 5 for being here 2 weeks in a row. Thank you for having me. And I'm also hoping that the weather gets a little sunny.
Bob Everly.
I have a happy dollar for, I stopped giving, I shouldn't give a happy dollar, because I should stop giving happy dollar every time Dan Westford moves. And a happy dollar for the National Club. We saw a club on the other night that certainly developed its own personality. They have their own way of speaking to each other, and they are totally a vibrant club, and that was quite a big deal.
$1 for the club, and a scooter dollar for the exciting topic of PPP loans.
So, John, what do you charge for an informational dollar? Is that what the dollar?
Yeah.
$5. All right. So we have a precedent, $5 for informational dollar. Aside from being here today, happy to be here. I want to make a donation to the club. My company that I'm with now produces and markets a mask spray. So as your mask get used, we don't all wash them, but they get bacteria in them. These sprays on the front, green on the back, it's good for 3 days. I'm gonna leave it at the table. You guys can keep it, and when you leave, you can feel free to use it. If you need more, come see me. Thank you.
Vic,
For the cause. Happy Friday.
For the new club, man, we've got competition for a fun club, so sunrise, just pick up the pace. Today is World Kindness Day. Put that in your heart, and for my guests.
All right, here's a couple of dollars. Happy, looks like Etta managed to not give us too many problems. I hope everybody was safe. So this is a thanks to the rain gods and the storm gods that they stayed away.
I will donate $5 happy dollars online if somebody can teach me how, because I'm a millennial and we don't believe in paper money.
I have 5 of these happy paper money dollars. One is certainly to welcome the 64th club to the marriages. And then the other dollars are a reminder that RLI is online. If you have not signed up and you still need to complete your RLI courses, this is a wonderful time. There are 5 available in the next 7 days, 5 seconds, pick one. Please go online, complete your RLI. Because come spring, I think we may be back together in person for RLI. Thank you.
Hope we can get back together.
Okay, Steve.
This dollar is varied, we accept the challenge, let's make it fun.
5 for empty bowls.
Happy Friday.
2 for the incredible sacrifice that was lost.
Some gave all.
Back to your team.
My happy dollars for the Greater Nassau Club. I was able to watch via Zoom and it was magnetic even on Zoom. So congratulations. $5 happy dollars for it.
$1 for Deb and Vicky, who put on a fabulous feed and donated cake, and Deb and Stan donated champagne for the toast. For the chartering night, $1 for them. And $1 for Peter Kyle, who was the Rotary International Director, who spoke via Zoom in Washington, D.C. Gave a very inspirational speech about the breadth and the height and width of Rotary around the world. He did a really great job, and he's available to speak not on that subject, but on his personal life, which he was a director for the World Bank, and was helped when Russia was opened up to become a free market society. So he's a great speaker for that subject if we want to have him by Zoom. And $1 for us.
This dollar is because I'm very upset that I can't make the competition this morning at 11:45. Because I'm very competitive. But I want to see what the teams are, and whoever team that our Schuster's on, I think we should start betting on who's the team that's going to win, because my money is on Schuster.
All right, I'm gonna go to Zoom first.
I've got, sorry, I've got $5 happy dollars for just a fabulous event on Tuesday night.
Okay, we're gonna go to Zoom. If any of the Zoomers are interested in participating in Morning Money, please unmute yourself. Start with Brian Flick.
Hey, good morning. I'm putting in $20 today, one in my absence, but also to just, thank you to all the veterans and everybody in this club who's served, and also my two parents. But then the remaining amount, I'd love to just recognize that awesome event Tuesday night. Well done for this club, helping put that group together, as well as that club taking the initiative and growing the way they have. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brian. Any other Zoomers? Pete.
I have $5 virtual for the fantastic tasting lobsters last Friday.
All right. So I'm going to be the last one. And I am putting in $125. Okay. This coming Monday will be the 25th anniversary since the day that my wife was murdered while working as a nurse. And so, as I say, this Friday, this is in her memory. Okay. We're passing around signups today for meal pack. 11:45. Who wants to sign up? We've got
3 slots.
4 spots left. No takers. Zoomers. Any takers? All right. So empty bowls next Friday. I will be sending out an email to everybody just to remind you where and what times you have agreed to be there to help out. There is a food distribution in the Hilliard on Monday. Get there around noon if you can help. And then there is tomorrow at MLK, there is a food distribution there also, and that starts at 8 in the morning.
Thank you, Mike. 2 things. One, let's not forget bell ringing for the Salvation Army, Saturday, the 28th, 2 days after Thanksgiving. It's only 2 hours. It's kind of fun. 4 slots, 2 people each, so we need 8. And then on the 19th, Saturday the 19th, we have the same 4 slots available, another 8 people. So if you can, sign up for one of those 2. Sign up online. Barb sent out a message. If you don't have that email or can't find it, please let me or Caroline or Barb know, and we'll resend it, and you can do it online. And I'm not a millennial, but I was able to do it. It was pretty easy, and it took about 30 seconds. So lobsters. On December 11th, we'll have a club assembly. We'll talk a little bit more about lobsters and how we did. Let's just say at this point, very successful, a lot of really good feedback. We beat what we thought we were gonna do. We sold over 600 lobsters, and we'll have the dollars wrapped up and everything by December 11th. We're also gonna do Tuesday night a debrief on the event to try to make it better, because it sounds like even though this was the first annual, there's probably going to be a second annual. And maybe even quicker than an annual, we'll see. But we're gonna have a debrief. I will send out a link to everyone this afternoon, and that'll be Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. So if you can make that debrief and you participated and you've got some good ideas, constructive, what we can do better, that's really what we're looking for. So how to improve it. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock Tuesday night. Eric.
All right. Come over here.
Yeah, this will be right here.
So a couple of things, right? They say imitation is the finest form of flattery or something like that.
Yeah.
So this week at my club, they're like, how can we do a lobster Friday? So you got some competition for, they think it's easy, right? Because you just show up and you buy a couple of lobsters. But anyway, it was a great event. I was happy to have assisted in
Our
some of
star
the
live lobster
logistics.
wrapper right here.
Well, we all have contacts, right? And we rely on those Rotarian connections to come through for us. So you never know when these connections are gonna So I wanted to just take a minute and give everyone an update on the Polio Plus event that happened here on October 24th. Our noontime club organized a walk. We walked 9 holes, and we got pledges for how many holes you could walk in an hour. So the results are, this club raised $1,251 on that first event, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna provide your treasurer or your secretary today with the funds, and they will decide how they want to appropriate them either at the individual level or at the club level. So what happened was, as I tallied the numbers, the noontime club came in $30 under your total. So, it being 2020, we did a recount. Yeah, we did. And miraculously, $32 showed up. So it was a success. And when we announced that we were in fact the lead club, I received a phone call from, I believe it was Mickey, or an email, and he said, we have a late donation from Mr. Jim Weaver. So we accepted the donation, but we didn't count it. So we're still a winner for a year, and we challenge you next year to beat our total ratings. I think we need to go to the Supreme Court. In addition to the money, we had 17 walkers, and we had 39 people donate. So some were Rotarians, some were not, some were from other clubs. So overall, I think the first year event, it was pretty successful, and it was really, really easy to do. So next year, we're planning on doing something similar. Hopefully, the golf course is going to be open next year, but we'll figure out where we can do some walking and not have to deal with traffic and police escorts and everything else. But if we have to do that, that means it's going to be a nice big event. So, but hopefully, I would love to say next year we don't need it, that polio is going to be eradicated from the face of the earth, but it's going to take a few more years. But now let's keep up the fight. So thank you for here's your check.
Thank you.
Picture, stop, come back.
We gotta do a photo. Those all separate checks, yeah, separate checks.
It's tainted, bankruptcy with paperwork.
All righty, let's keep moving on. Andrew, you're up.
Andrew?
Yes.
Okay, great. I am happy to welcome Sarah Amar this morning. Her presentation is called Funny Business, the Impact of Improvisational Practices on Work and Life. And she's going to discuss the broad applications improv has beyond the stage and comedy, the brain science behind it, and even get a few brave and willing participants up on their feet to test some fun exercises in front of the group, which is why I'm on Zoom this morning.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good
morning.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here back to back.
And Jody told me you were a wily bunch and you guys deliver. So I'm excited about engaging with you in my presentation this morning and sharing improv with you. So before we jump in, just a tiny bit about me. My professional background is communications, public relations. I worked at Capitol Hill for a few years and in national nonprofits. And while I was living and working in Washington, D.C., I started taking improv classes at night just for fun. And I fell in love. And then I started performing. Yeah, can you all hear me okay on Zoom?
Yeah.
Yes. So, take it for the Zoomers. I perform all of the time. So I started performing in front of strangers, doing on-the-spot improv, no scripts, and I fell more and more in love. And then I started teaching it, and then I started working with theaters and teaching it to businesses, and taking the principles that you use in improv and applying them to different facets of business and in life, to be honest. So you know me now, you are hearing about improv. You actually know a lot of other improvisers. So if you could go to the next slide.
Uh-oh. Technical
There's actually
difficulties.
one slide before this.
Yeah, this one.
There we go. So whether or not you're familiar with improv or Second City, which is where I also studied improvisation, these are all alumni of Second City. So we've got Bill Murray, Gilda Radner, et cetera, et cetera. You recognize these faces. So they all started their careers as improvisers, and at their core, that is who they are. So next slide, please. So what is improv? Does anybody have an idea of a definition of improvisation? Come on, guys. Okay, that's fine. So improv is a live performance art. It is unscripted by its nature. And most people think that it is a free-for-all. You get up there, you act crazy, you do whatever, there are no rules. That's false. Improv, good improv, requires some tenets. And the very first rule of improv, if you could go to the next slide, please, is yes and. Has anyone heard this before? So yes and yes. Can you tell me what you know about yes and?
Build on the story of whatever they've told you.
That's exactly right. So the core principle of improv and everything that builds around it is this idea that you build. So if you're on stage and your stage partner makes an offer, is what we call it, they come in with an idea. Your job as a good improviser, as a good partner, as a good business partner, is to accept their offer, that's yes, and then it's to say and. So on stage, it's additive, right? So on stage, first we start with an audience suggestion. So somebody shout anything out you want. Any word.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So I've gotten hallelujah from the audience. So as I want to start a scene, so I might be like, woo, hallelujah, that lobster was godly, right? So I yes-anded the suggestion. And then my scene partner's job is to go, yes, and I feel it and I need some butter, right? So the idea is you walk on, you make an offer, you make a contribution, and you know that you're going to be supported and your partner is going to be additive. But we're going to do a quick exercise at your tables, if that's okay. So just talk amongst yourselves, and I'm going to ask you to do this in 3 rounds. We're going to plan a Rotarian event. Each table is going to do that to celebrate the end of the pandemic, okay? The first round, your job in your groups is to make an offer. And then when it's your turn to respond, you say no, and then you make your offer. Back and forth, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to do it. Then we're gonna go to the second round, cool? Start.
You need your phone. Yeah, that was a mistake. We need that phone.
Oh. You guys are so friendly. Remember, say no. Say no to your offers. Okay, time. Okay, very quickly, who successfully, because I could hear you guys like each other, it was hard to say no. Who successfully denied the offers? Who said no? Well, this table was like, oh, perfect. And what did that feel like?
Not fun.
Not fun, right?
We started planning and we had to say no.
Right? You couldn't really get it there. Okay, perfect. So round 2, same exercise, plan this event, make your offer, and when you respond, you'll say yes, but, and then you'll make your offer. Cool? Go ahead.
Okay, all right, we can do this together.
That sounds great.
Okay, perfect. Time? Guys, time, that's great. Thank you. Who was able to yes, but their partners? Okay, how did that feel?
Better. It was like a compromise.
Oh, okay. So did you all got what you wanted with a yes, but? Or was it? Okay, interesting. We like to call a yes, but a no in a tuxedo. Right? So you might be like, oh yeah, but we're gonna just no. Right? So one more, let's do round 3. And this time, no matter what's offered, respond with yes. And then make your offer. Okay? Go. Okay, time. Guys, I hate cutting this round off because I can hear what's happening and it's fun. Who thinks in the time they have, they planned the best party? Oh, competition. Okay, let's start over here. I want to hear what your party sounds like.
We're having a dance-a-thon. Anybody surprised? Having wine and a live band. Children, yeah, well, maybe not children. Wine, maybe not children.
Very nice. Who else wants to share their party?
I'm sure there's beer back here.
Yeah.
Yes, we started at the party. We went to beer, had to be at the party. It's going to be on a beach in Italy, on the beach. Oh, what was the last one? Naked? What?
Yes,
Back tape was always the fun.
That's perfect. Thank you all for engaging in this activity. So you can see that when you open yourself to yes and, the possibilities open up, right? So some of you might be thinking, okay, that's fun, that's cute, but in business and in life, I can't say yes to everything. I have budget constraints, I have political constraints, whether they be small P or big, little P or big P. Sometimes you can't say yes to everything. That is not what this is about. This is about creating a culture, a dynamic, an organization that allows for idea sharing, idea generation, and it says, no, not every idea should be executed, but every idea should be encouraged. And then you can start from a place of abundance and pare back. So that is the foundational principle of improv. So what does this facilitate? And next slide, please. Lots of different things, right? Communication is at the core. You can't say yes if you're not really listening. And you can't and if you don't project back and give something. Ensemble and teamwork, this helps to create an environment where people want to engage. Adaptability, thinking on your feet. There are lots of improv exercises that make it so we have to learn to pivot quickly. And we all know that we've had to learn to deal with change and embracing it and turning failure into opportunity, especially in this climate, right? All of these principles are taught through improv. Next slide, please. And if you don't think that's enough, there is neuroscience to back up improv. So a man by the name of Charles Lynn, who is a neuroscientist and also a jazz musician, ran MRIs on 3 groups of people. He ran MRIs on jazz musicians who improvise their music. He did it on freestyle rappers who improvise their raps. And he did it on stage improvisers. He looked at their brains when they were and were not improvising. When they improvised, and these are words I've learned just for you, their dorsolateral prefrontal cortex activity went down, and their medial prefrontal cortex activity went up. So what does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean? The activity that went down represents the part of your brain that's your inner critic. It's the part of you that says, ooh, should I do that? If I do that, what's going to happen? Something bad might happen. Maybe I'll sit quiet. Maybe I won't act. And the other part, the part that went up, is associated with creativity and the language centers in your brain. So in other words, next slide, please. When you are improvising, your writer is writing and your editor is quiet. Your creator is busy, your gatekeeper is not. Innovation is happening and the status quo has been broken. Now that's not to say that there's not a role for the editor and the gatekeeper. There absolutely is. But the idea is that you want to first start from a place where you're generating ideas, you're generating content, you're encouraging creativity. And then you can employ the editor and the gatekeeper. But if you start with those guys, you've already started from a place of limitation. Next slide, please. All the cool kids are doing it. This is just a quick sample of some articles from around the internet. And if you could go to the next slide. This is just a very small sample of very big companies who use this as part of their training. Next slide, please. So what are some of the business applications? Sales, customer service, client relationships. If you are living yes and you're living communication, you are obviously improv teaches you a lot of presentation skills and feeling polished and feeling confident, but it also teaches you to tune into your client or your lead and listen to what they're saying. And if you can project to them that you're not just here to give them something that you think they need, but that you're here to meet a need that they have, you're going to be more successful. Patient relationships. So Alan Alda was on that earlier slide. He actually runs a Center for Communicating Science at Stony Brook University. And he uses improv and he works with the medical profession and scientists to better communicate their work. Obviously, I've talked a little bit about team dynamics. Inclusion, huge deal. And again, it's really about, at the core of it, making people feel like they can offer and contribute. And if you create a culture where people feel like they can offer and contribute, you've created an inclusive culture. And obviously, public speaking, confidence building. Next slide, please. So this is for those of you who might be saying, I'm retired. I don't care about the business application. Improv also increases what's called neuroplasticity. And essentially, this just means that your brain can continue to map and wire itself in new and different ways. So if you've heard the old adage, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, if that dog is an improviser, you can teach it all the new tricks you want. Next slide, please. So I want to just give this a quick go. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. One of the tenets of improv is that you take care of your team members, you support them, you make them look good. I promise I won't make anybody look bad. But I do understand that Larry would like to maybe play. So, and Larry, you can keep your distance if you like. If you want to come to maybe right here, I made sure that our games are friendly to all the rules. So I want to show you, everybody.
Can I?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm glad you got back to me, Larry.
So everyone can see I have an improv ball. Do you see this in my hands? There's an improv ball, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it up. Okay. Right, you saw it right there, okay? And then I'm actually gonna put my microphone down for this one. Sorry to you guys. I also have this improv ball, right? And it's, okay. And then I have, excuse me, in my dress, this one, right? And I'm just gonna put it over here. And don't worry, I know I look silly. Now I'm gonna throw you one of these balls, Larry. And I just want you to catch it. And then I want you to throw it back. Easy peasy?
Easy.
Still got it.
Who thinks if that ball were physical, he would have defied the laws of physics? Because I threw it over here and he caught it way back here.
You said I caught it.
You did, you did. Yes, and you did.
Yes, you did.
Now, if you can just throw that back to me. Okay, great, thank you. I'm gonna take this medium size ball. Not drop my microphone.
Not yet.
You ready? Okay. Who thinks that was timed well? I spiked that thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can get me back, Larry.
I'm not in a reality world.
Ever.
Oh. Okay. All right. I accept your offer, Larry. No, we're gonna leave this video because it's heavy and I haven't exercised it since the pandemic started.
Let me throw that one at you.
Bring it. I want to see you throw that, Larry. Yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, yes, I'm in.
I can't do this to you.
I like you. So what was all that weirdness about? This exercise is about nonverbal communication. So we showed each other the size and depth and weight of the ball. And so I sent a message, I made an offer, sending you this little ball, super lightweight, moves pretty fast, moves in a straight line. Larry accepted it with some cool moves. The second one, I spiked. He caught it, I would say, maybe a few minutes or 2 seconds late, but that's okay. And when you sent it back to me, it wasn't the same ball, right? It was now this like cool slow motion thing. So I heard that and I tried to accept it, right? So this is a silly exercise. It feels silly and it's fun and goofy, but it teaches you something important. When we're working with people, whether they're our business, associates or our colleagues or our customers or our fellow Rotarians, we're talking and we're speaking, but we're also sending communication non-verbally. I said I have a ball 3 times, right? That ball did not look the same all 3 times. The words were the same. The message was different. And so tuning in to what is being communicated non-verbally is just as important. And because I don't have a ton of time, I'm not going to put anyone through any more pain, but let's give Larry a big hand. Thank you, Larry. That was really fun. I appreciate you not throwing that one at me. And that is the conclusion. That's because we have 20 minutes only. I wish I had more time. I'm happy to talk more with you because I love this topic. I geek out about it hard. So please feel free to contact me if you like. My contact information is up here. I also have some cards on me. But again, thank you very much for the time and thank you for letting me share with you.
Question, some of this seems like a brainstorming exercise, but how do you engage the team members who may not jump right in with some building ideas and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. So in initial workshops that I do, I set the foundation. We talk about expectations, we talk about rules, we talk about the idea of supporting one another. And that is not always easy if I come into a climate where that's not historically the case. There's a little bit of work to be done. There are countless improv exercises that get at the idea of sharing, that get at the idea of safety in sharing. And so depending, I'll work with people depending on sort of exactly what their diagnostic issue is, and we'll get to that. But then sometimes it really is a matter of laying a foundation, laying some ground rules of respect. And there's this idea, there's a great quote from Amy Poehler, no one looks stupid when they're having fun. And so if everyone can agree, hey, but if everyone can agree, hey, we're here right now looking goofy, I give you permission to look silly, Dan, and you give me permission to look silly. So it's about creating that environment and saying, look, we're buttoned up, that's great, but for these 3 hours, which is usually what a workshop lasts, we're gonna let it loose a little bit, and we're gonna respect that in each other.
Sarah, thank you so much. I've got one other job for you.
Sure. Draw a ticket, and then you can go after it. Oh, that feels like the most pressure all morning. It is. Okay. The last 3 numbers? Yeah. 480.
Woo.
Right. Thank you. You're welcome.
Remember, we've got the lobster debrief on Tuesday night at 11:45 today. If you can make it, see Michael. We've got a couple of spots. Please rise and join me in the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it parallel concern? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a fabulous weekend. Here.